everything on it, good water, all the fencing and so on. And say, for instance, you pay 3,000 rand per hectare. It's 12 million.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, you need another, say, 4 million to start farming. It's 16 million.
Okay.
And just to pay back that loan, say, on 10% interest, it will cost you 1.6 million per year.
Whoa, 1.6.
And yeah, say on and on that 4,000 hectare, you can farm with 200, say 200 cows.
Okay.
Let's make it 240 cows.
Mm.
And you've got 80% calf percentage.
Yes.
Then you will sell about 200 calves per year if you raise all of them.
Yeah.
Then at 1.6 million, you must get for that calves divided by 200. 8,000 rand per head. That's just to pay the interest.
Yeah, yeah.
Now all the labor, the fuel, the installations, and you also have to live if you want to live off the farm.
Yeah.
So that's the main problem at the moment.
All right. So, Mr. Andries, now the biggest problem I hear when I talk to most farmers who have gone full time into farming, they say there's this switch one has to do, such as when you live in Windhoek, you have a monthly salary that comes in every end of the month when you're working. But on farming, it's not the same. It differs a little. So, what would you say on that?
Yeah, you see, on the farming, if you farm with say cows,
yep.
Mostly you will get only one income per year.
Yeah.
If you sell your calves.
Yeah.
And then there must be you have to be very good discipline not to spend that money on something else, because you have to survive on that money for another 12 months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So then, Mr. Andries, so then, Mr. Andries, because I usually see this common mistake people do, and most people hear about farming, they think, I'm going to be a millionaire. But is that really the case, or there's more to this rather than thinking, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow?
If you can pay the farm, you can pay the cattle in the farming on a cash basis.
Yeah.
Then you can make 1.6 million more or less per year, say.
Yeah.
It's not but say for this year maybe you will get 8,000 rand per calf. To get 8,000 rand per calf, say on 30 rand per kilogram, the calf have to weigh 265 kilogram, and most farmers are winning their calves on 180 kilogram times say 30. You get 5,400 rand times 200. So you're short about more or less 600, 500 rand per year.
Yeah.
But farming is not something to make a lot of money. It's a kind of living, a good living that you will have if you farm.
Yeah.
You will be your own boss. You are 1 year it will rain a lot. Next year it's nearly a drought.
Yeah.
And so it's a kind of living. If you love to live like that, then farming is good for you. But to go and farm for money, no. You must farm for the love of it.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all
nothing else.
So it's all about love. So, Mr. Andries, quickly, as you said, to make the money, you need to prepare animals to take to market, the calves. But could you talk about that gray area? Because I see a lot of people tend to forget that space when the cow is calved and raising that animal. They don't think about that. the costs you put in raising that animal. They just think of when this 50 cows calf, I'm taking to auction and I'm making X amount of money. They don't really take into consideration that how do I say, the middle ground. They don't really look at that. So if you could just talk on that.
Yeah, you see, you've got your running costs, and at the beginning your cost that if you want to buy the farm, and you're gonna try to pay the farm out of the farm, you're not gonna make it. If you've got this big salary, and your salary are gonna help to pay the farm, then you will be able to make it. Because, for instance, just to rent a farm and pay 100 rand per head, it's a lot cheaper than buying the farm.
Yeah.
If you put, if you say you're paying 100 rand per month, per cow, say 150 rand per cow and calf, times 200, it gives you 300,000.
Okay.
If you buy the farm, it will cost you over $1 million.
Yeah. No. True.
But in the long run, you should the farms are not going to. There won't be more farms in future. Actually, there will be less and less farms as you go on.
Yeah.
So if you think it's investment in property, maybe it was an investment, say 20 years ago or so. But I don't know if it's an investment. Let's take, say, 5 years ago. There are farms. A wood farm, you will get 4,000 rand per hectare.
Yep.
And now 2,500. That's more or less what the farmers go for. If you want to sell a farm, you will have to ask 2,500. If you ask over 3,000 rand per hectare, you're not going to sell that farm. And the main thing is, at the moment, we're putting a lot of money into the farms. A farmhouse of, say, 800,000, and all the fencing and all the boreholes. What is the cost of a borehole? 50 to 80,000. And all that you put in, you're not going to get that back.
Yep.
So the only thing, if you want to buy a farm, and maybe one day your children can take the farm over, then maybe it's worth it. But the other thing with the farm is, if you want to retire, all your money are in the farm.
Yeah, yeah, true.
So actually you have to stay on the farm and maybe go to old age home. That's not that expensive, and that's what that if you want to farm, that's stuff that you might have to consider.
Yeah, no, very true. So, Mr. Andres,
there's a lot of other businesses that make a lot more money.
Yep. That one could invest in. Yep. But then, Mr. Andres, as you know, you spoke about renting and owning the farm. But then, which one's better? Because when you talk to some people, they tell you it's far much better to own the property, the means of production, than rather leasing it from somebody. So do you still think in this day and time it's still better to own the farm, or it's better to lease the farm?
If you've got the money,
so it all goes,
then you can buy the farm. But if you want if you've got another big income, then you can buy the farm. For instance, if you've got one farm and you want to buy another farm next to you, then this farm can help you pay that farm. But just if you've got only a few Namibian dollar and you want to buy a farm, no, you're not gonna make it.
So then, Mr. Andres, quickly, on going into full-time farming, would it be advisable, for example, if I go into full-time farming now, that I diversify my farming? I farm cattle, I farm goats, I plant crops to just meet the ends meet on the end of the day, because I'm hearing from a lot of people that this one form of farming does not really make as much money as you mentioned, the droughts with cattle and all these other daily expenses that are there with if you just practice one form of farming. So what do you think on that? Would it be better for the next farmers to be more diversified, or they should keep the, if you are farming cattle, just farm cattle?
Yeah, you see, since I'm developing this farm, and instead of say stock one cattle per 10 hectares or so, I stock one per 6 hectares. But it's a lot of planning in that. And if you want to go and stay on the farm, you must work out that's going to be your income, and you have to live according to that. Otherwise, at the end you're going to use the money for living instead of putting it in the farm, because you have to put in a lot of money into your cattle. Every winter it will cost you say extra 100 rand per month just for feeding the animals. But I don't know, Mitchell, a lot of people is farming and they're making a good living, but because mostly it's because they don't have a lot of what is called on the farm.
Yeah.
But if you can take a loan and you think you're going to buy that farm, no, it's not going to work.
Okay. Now, Mr. Andres, thanks a lot once again for taking time to talk to me and just give your opinions on going into full-time farming and what it might require. Thanks a lot, sir. I appreciate it very much, sir. Thank you very much.
But Mitchell, if you want to start farming, rent the farm, and build your cattle. So that if you want to go and farm on your own at the end, that you at least have enough cattle to stock that farm.
All right, Mr. Andres, thanks a lot.
Okay, Mitchell, have a nice day.
Same to you. Thanks, bye.